Hello again, and this is Marky Mark. Welcome to Nintendo Switch, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Reign of the Warlock, Novice Guide Season 14. And in the title, I put, what's the goal? So, not just what is the goal of a ladder season, but what is my goal for my ladder season, and what is your goal for your ladder season? Maybe you're a novice, you are not playing a ladder season, and that's good too. Ladder can be quite different from non-ladder. Um, so before I even played online at all, I played the game for about a year, and then when I first played online, I started with a ladder season. I don't have any videos of that ladder season. But then I did another ladder season. I believe it was ladder season 10. And that's when I started making videos. I might post a few links in the description to some of those, some of the showcase videos. But my main goal for that season, well, the first season, the goal was get as much new gear, new uniques, new rune words. That's always a good goal for a ladder season, get new items that you don't have. But the thing about starting the ladder season is you start with nothing. Which can also make the game fun and exciting. My second ladder season, season 10, I decided I wanted to make as many budget characters and as many videos as I could. And that's what I did. So I didn't chase after lots of rune words and lots of uniques. Tried to play on a budget. Well, anyways, now that we have patch 3.2, there's been changes to the Sunder Charms, and supposedly they're easier to get. So that could be a nice goal. That's one of my goals. I want to get some Sunder Charms. That's not my primary goal for this season. But if I do get some Sunder Charms, it'd be nice. Maybe playing the Warlock is a nice goal. I'm not really into the Warlock yet. I know one day I will be experimenting with the Warlock. Getting to 99. When I first started this season, Memorial Day weekend, I thought I was going to do that, and I'm like, no, it's just gonna take way too long. I've done it once before offline. I don't think I'm going to do all that. But anyways, the purpose of this video, what is your goal for season 14? So I made recently, about a month ago, some Fire Wind Druid videos. And I got a lot of views for those compared to a lot of my other videos. I did have, I think my next highest video with views was a budget Enchantress, Hydress, Sorceress. But these Wind Druid, Flaming Wind Druid videos got a lot of views. And I kind of want to, feed off that and possibly get more views by, continuing the series that I started. I only did one video in Hell mode. I did the Den of Evil. But unfortunately, right now my Druid is in normal because I did not start with a Druid. I started with an Amazon, of course, because that's my favorite character. So now I'm working on this Druid to get to Hell mode. Oops, what am I doing? For right now, I think until I get to Hell mode, I'm going to also do some more experimenting. I'm going to try to do like some rabies and fire claws. See how that goes. And then, once I make it to Hell mode, I will change back into a Fire Wind Druid and see what happens. I don't have any gear though like I do on non-ladder. And nothing like that, so it could be kind of interesting, but it'll be a nice little test for how hard it is to get these Sunder Charms. Prior to Reign of the Warlock, it was not that hard to get Sunder Charms. And so I will say that don't get discouraged about ladder season 14 if you're new to the game and you're a novice, because it is hard to get Sunder Charms now. which completely changes how fast you can play through the game. Originally, you could just, start a cold sorceress, get a cold Sunder Charm, and go to town. But now unless you find a Sunder Charm, you have to wait to get one, because they're a lot more rare and hard to get. And I guess that's possibly why I got so many views on my Fire Wind Druid videos compared to other videos that I've shot, because a Fire Wind Druid is able to kill multiple monsters that are immune to different elements. And I guess that's why I got so many views. Just happened to happen that way. I was just kind of messing around, having some fun. Wanted to give it a go. So yeah, we're going to get this character to Hell mode, do a stat reset, become a Firewind Druid, and see if we can make it through Hell mode on Ladder Season 14 with a Flaming Wind Druid. And I guess that is actually not my primary goal. That is, I guess, my secondary goal. My primary goal, so when they brought out Reign of the Warlock, because of, I guess, balancing for ladder, maybe, they removed the Mosaic rune word. And I mean, that's okay. I don't mind that too much. Maybe some people do, to each their own. Why am I not hitting this monster? But anyways, the Metamorphosis rune word, which was released at the same time as the Mosaic rune word, did not also transfer over to non-ladder only, which is typically what they have done in previous patches for a lot of the rune words, where once after a season or two of some rune words and some new rune words coming out, they will migrate the old rune words over to non-ladder so that you can make them on non-ladder. Metamorphosis, as far as I know from where I've checked, has not had that happen yet. So that is my primary goal for the season, to make a nice little Metamorphosis helmet for a druid. I will go ahead and say that in order to do that, I need a Cham rune. And I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't like, well, I do like hyping things, but at the same time, I don't like to be misleading or, what's the word for it? Faking things when people are looking on camera, that kind of thing. So anyways, Memorial Day weekend, I slammed the game, played for 12 hours a day on Memorial weekend, on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And yeah, 5 a.m. rolls around and there's a Jaw rune. Can't get any luckier than that. But this Jaw rune is reserved. This Jaw rune is specifically for trading for a Cham rune, unless I can get more out of it. But this is Nintendo Switch, and high runes are hard to come by. So even though on other consoles or PC, the value of a Jaw rune might actually be more than the value of a Cham rune, and I could get more than a Cham rune out of it, I do have to understand that this is Nintendo Switch, and, it's a lot harder to trade. And yeah, I think getting a Cham rune out of it is a reasonable expectation. I still will need the Druid Helm, which I have the rest of the 3 months or however long to, get that. But anyways, that is my primary goal for this season, to make a nice Metamorphosis. And I guess by playing this Fireclaw's Rabies thing, I do want to have +3 to Rabies on this Druid Helm, and get whatever else I can to go with the Rabies. I just want a Rabies +5 Shapeshifting Druid Helm with all the nice things on it. And that is my goal for the season. And then, like I said, my secondary goal, try to feed off of this fire wind druid thing that people have viewed on my YouTube videos. Can't hit those guys, are too far away or something. So yeah, we're gonna try to do the fire wind druid thing in hell mode and see if we can get some views out of that. Like I said, it's the ladder season, so I start with nothing. I don't know what kind of gear I'm gonna throw on there. I am not gonna trade that jaw rune for a bear rune and make a chains of honor for this character. I'm not doing that because then I can't do my primary goal. So I apologize for that if you wanted to see Flaming Wind Druid with the chains of honor. But you know, we'll just see what happens. Maybe a Fire Wind Druid will be a good starter if the next ladder season is got a similar setup and there's no major patch changes or anything. Other than that, while I'm doing this arcane quest in normal, the only other thing I want to talk about is my last goal for ladder season 14. So my starting character was an Amazon, not a Javelin Amazon. Although until I got to like hell mode, I think until I got higher level, maybe nightmare. Yeah, I think it was till I got about 30 or 40 and went to nightmare. I was a plague javelin Amazon, which is pretty good at the beginning of the game, and then I switched over to a freezing arrow, exploding arrow Amazon. And the reason for that, a few days prior to ladder season starting, I think the 3.2 patch had already kind of come out or something. I'm not really sure. I did have an update, but I got to kind of roll with the terror zones for a little while before ladder season 14 started, and I found a nice little budget build, even better than my Frost Maiden that I had made that did use a Sunder Charm. A nice little budget bow Amazon build that can kill level 5 heralds, the Heralds of Terror, with budget gear. And I'm not going to spoil that. I will leave that as a surprise. But if you've been monitoring anything I've been doing and the games I've been joining and creating for trades, you might have a guess as to how that is. I do know there is a sorceress that has been trading me gear, which I'm very happy with, by the way. I got my Kira's Guardian for like a gold rune and a bunch of runes to reroll spirits, the spirit shield. So that was exceptionally good to get that with the rarity and how hard it is to trade on Switch. And that sorceress has since then also traded me, the 2 hard parts to get out of the Sazabi set, several other things, and one of the last 2 main pieces of gear I need. I have been making trade games and leaving them there for like hours on end, waiting for someone to bring me this one item, while I'm like doing stuff online with my buddy in the kitchen table, like over the phone. But anyways, so I'll just leave those trade games sit there for hours on end, kind of watch it while I'm playing Magic with my buddy. But this sorceress that's been trading me gear possibly knows one of the last 2 items I'm looking for this build, aside from a torch and an Annie, which I'm not sure how I'm going to get that. But if I get that gear set up and get my resistances up to par, get my life total up to par, I will be able to have the same build that I had offline, or not offline, but on non-ladder, that was able to kill tier 5 heralds not quickly, slow as can be, but still able to consistently kill, Act 1 and Act 2 and maybe Act 3 Tier 5 Heralds. And, well, Act 4 and Act 5 too, but a lot more riskier on the dying aspect with the monsters that are in those two acts. But anyways, that is my, I guess my third goal, because, these videos are my second goal, and that's my third goal, just to run terror zones, kill the act or the heralds of terror, and try to get some thunder charms. I have seen in the game I'm gonna try and complete this quest. I've seen in the game list, there have been a couple people who have found some thunder charms in the Nintendo Switch game trade window for, I guess, North America would be. And they are trying to get their high runes to make their necessary gear for their builds. And like I said, trading's difficult, but did I pick the right way? I think I did. Oh, I got lucky. YouTuber's luck. But anyways, those are my goals for this season. I think I should open the comments probably and ask you what your goals for the season are. Everybody's got their own goals. Maybe, I guess I do have an overarching goal beyond the first three goals I stated. Let's see. I want to have an excuse to play this game as much as I want for the next 3 months. Ladder season's brand new and fresh. I started with no gear. I spent all Memorial Day weekend just getting as far as I could, as fast as I could. And, just an excuse to play the game and have fun, honestly. I mean, what else reason do you need? Playing non-ladder, playing offline, once you get a lot of gear, unless you're trying new builds, it can just kind of get boring, honestly. But for some reason, people always come back to this game. And with that, I will end my video and try to make some progress on this character within the next week, hopefully. Get to hell mode, get some gear for this character, and yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens with that Flaming Wind Druid. So yeah, this has been Marky Mark. This is my Novice Guide, Season 14. The Ultimate Beginner's Guide. I've decided that if you kill Diablo, are you really a beginner? I think you're more of a novice. And like I said, I'll try to post some links in the description to some more of my videos. Try to label some of them as showcase videos, the videos that are better than the other ones. It's a lot of playthroughs of the game with certain character builds. A lot of them are broken up into several parts. Maybe for each build, maybe highlight the best video among those parts. Just so people can kind of see some of my other videos and try to see, other ways to enjoy the game. Just some beginner and novice tips if you're not an experienced player. Maybe something interesting that you've never seen before, like trying a Flaming Wind Druid, because that's probably a decent strategy without easy access to Thunder Charms. And yeah, I just like shooting videos. It's fun, gives me a chance to, speak my voice while I'm playing the game. This game, I enjoy it so much. And yeah, let me know about your goals. And this has been Marky Mark. Have a good one.